All right, it's PvP time. We're going to be explaining the tier list for global PvP. Now, JP PvP, I'm going to wait till after Gray, Finral, and probably the next seasonals are released. The reason being is because Gray and Finral are being separated. Finral is being pushed back because of balancing issues. I'm not even kidding. I think the guy was too strong because he was a speed unit probably and cleave, and they're like, oh shit, we don't want it to become a cleave team comp again. So they released him, or they're releasing him a bit later, which is, I don't know. I'm kind of pissed, but at the same time, I would rather them take their time and not mess up PvP because I think now it's the biggest point that really matters in terms of PvP because, we're moving away from the mono meta, so we cannot have any slip ups right away. Because if they do that, that's the worst case scenario, okay? So, for global PvP, I'm going to talk about the units that I think need max dupe in this tier list, and you're going to be very surprised at some placements. I actually kind of gave Antalar the changes for this tier list, so it is updated now, okay? And these are all changes that I gave Antalar personally, just to make him put it out, because I know he's going to be busy with weathering waves. And let me explain how I'm rating these units. I'm rating these units from what I've seen on JP. Okay, if there's any changes on global, that will of course change in the next 2 weeks, most likely. Now, what am I rating? How often the units used in upper leagues? The units I see a lot in upper leagues, the ones that you see in a lot of matches, and how good they are. Okay, now I'm not rating as much how many teams they're on because they've thoroughly constructed a mono meta to where I don't think at this point in time it's going to matter as much. I'm also going to apply how dominant they are in the meta, which dominance in this meta also ties in how much are you seeing it, how many teams are trying to counter this team or trying to do something to stop X unit from being good. That is my personal ratings, all right? And for the most part, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be a bit confused at Spirit Dive and S+, but we will get to that when we get to it. So, this is PvP, including Rill and Noel. Rill and Noel will come out 2 weeks after Spirit Dive. This is a Season 8 tier list, all right? Rill and Noel are both pretty good units, but we're going to explain how exactly they work, and this is going to be maybe your first introduction to them if you have not watched my showcases. So just, wanted to talk about that a bit too. We decided to add them because they were obviously next, but we have no confirmation of them actually being next, but logically speaking, they are next. So, let's get into it. S+, we've been staring at it for a while. Black Asta, still by far a very good unit. Mono Red is just extremely strong, and there's not really much you can do against it, okay? With Witch Queen being able to heal up as much as she does with high HP, and at the same time being able to nuke. It's help Asta nuke, very good. Then you got Yuno applying the silence, then Charmy, very good. So up to now, that's the main Mono Red team that you've seen, and it's been very good. Okay, now with the arrival of Spirit Dive, unless you run Rill or Finral, you're just gonna end up losing, guaranteed. Every mono red team I fight without Rill or Finral, I just clear easily, and with them, I could put up a fight, but it's like kind of hard to tell. Like sometimes you'll win, sometimes you won't. So Fuego. Fuego is still here because his DOT team is still very strong. Whether or not there's a ghost on the enemy team, you could still play around it, and his damage, even with one burn, once you start getting the stats up, is very good. Now, he is considered to be a max dupe unit, but he is still deserving of that spot with the max dupe in mind, well, mainly the skill page max dupe at least. Give him high stats, and he'll just be cooking with Marileona no matter what. And this is what I mean, because these two units go together, and sure, Fuego doesn't have many teams, but he's strong on the team he's on. Okay. Now, Rill, he is, as of this point, a mono red only unit. But he is just a very good support in the future too. Now we're going to talk about him a bit because he has a cleave plus damage reduction passive skill 2. It gives AoE speed plus 1, or speed level 1, and then 20% damage reduction. And then he gives 100% mobility to the ally of his choosing on his ult, okay? He's going to be at 125 speed on mono red. He's going to be very good, okay? And, I mean, even in the future with Valkyrie Noel, we're theorizing that he's going to be very good. Now, the thing is, Finral is going to come out before Valkyrie Noel on Global, and Finral most likely will just be a direct upgrade to Rill. Because of that, I would say that Rill is not, I mean, either way, you don't need much investment. You just need his skill page and 0 dupes. You need one copy of his skill page, 0 dupes. So that's basically it. I would recommend saving some mage piece dupes of units you don't want, so you don't have to summon for Rill at all. But I'm going to talk about that more in the future. Now, Rill, very good on mono red. Okay, he's going to be able to speed the whole team up, which against the mono green meta that's very upcoming, it's going to be extremely good. Okay, without Rill, you just can't really beat mono green either version with the Mario hyper carry or the version. So, I would recommend choosing Real. All right, he is really that good for now. Okay, the thing is, right, he is good. Okay, he is good. He is good. Um, but he is hyper focused on mono red, and the minute we get another cleave unit, he's kind of down in the dumps, especially very soon. But still is going to be very nice. Now Charlotte, I don't even need to talk about. She is just that girl. Okay, damage reduction, SP, damage increase, SP, barriers, barriers, barriers. So that's basically it. I've talked about Charlotte enough. I don't even want to talk about her again. Mario, same thing. Very good burns. Very good with Witch Queen, Asta, Fuego. Pretty much every single unit in here she's very good with. William, Ghost, Charlotte, Fuego, and Asta. So she basically encompasses the basically flex slot, and her main thing now is that she's going to be able to taunt. And that is a very strong thing to have against Spirit Dive because Spirit Dive wants to alt turn 1, and if he has to alt Mario, he's losing a silence that he could be placing on someone else, which in some cases can be fine, can be meh, okay? But Mario definitely got insane value. Now she's on 2 mono green teams, on the Fuego burn team, right? So it's just very strong. Okay, very, very strong. Now, Spirit Dive. Okay, let's explain Spirit Dive. This guy is actually very crazy, okay? And long-term, short-term, he's going to be S+, I think. I think he's going to stay here for like a good 3 to 4 months because of the fact that he will be very good with Valkyrie Noel, who's going to be releasing in Season 10 on Global. And let's talk about him. A lot of people are very confused, and I mean, I saw some confusion by my placement of an S plus, and I just wanted to. I even confirmed with some JP friends, like, is this a fine placement, given the way I rated it, and how did I rate it? How much do you see this unit? Is it something you want to fight? Okay. And are they good on that team? It doesn't necessarily need to be that they're on a lot of teams, but are they good on the team they're on? And on the team he's on, he's able to take care of all mono blue teams. Okay. And you don't see many, but when you do, it's over. Okay, he's able to take care of other mono green teams, so the Mario Leona version. He's able to take care of the mono red team with Charmy, and his one counters Rill. If Rill and Finral, but you don't always see them. From what I've seen on JP, you can see them, and it is a gamble. But even if you do see them, still has a chance against them, given your mono green team is well built. You need max dupe, max skill page. Okay, you need Mario, max dupe. Doesn't necessarily need to have max skill page, but would be nice. You need Charlotte at dupe 2, and you need Mimosa at dupe 2. Okay, so this team is actually going to be very strong. Okay. And if people play it right, it's going to be very nice. Now, the thing is, if people decide on defense to run mono red a lot, then it's going to be very difficult to actually counter that. But the thing is, if they run mono red, then you could technically change your team to another one, like the Burn Fuego team or something of the sort. So placing mono green defense is usually going to be the best case, because if, let's say, you hide your and Mimosa, they won't know which version of the mono green team it is, and it's going to be very hard to tell. Okay, this applies the silence, and it's going to be good. He will be able to have pretty decent uptime, and even if he dies, right, it's fine because Mimosa could res. Okay, so the team I've shown before is the team that's going to be used right now, and when I do showcase it, I'm going to expect that you guys will definitely change your mind on being an okay unit. The problem really is that he can only be used on mono green at the moment in PvP. It sucks, but of course, long-term investment, he's going to be very good because he's going to be good with Noel on a non-mono team. Now, Ghost got bumped up to S+. Very good, very, very good unit because of his damage reduction plus DOT block. And that completely nullifies a bunch of teams. I mean, mono red can't heal anymore, can't burn anymore, and also mono green can't burn, and then Fuego can't use his burn damage bonuses. So Ghost is very good, and his damage reduction just overall is nice, plus he gives the damage increase. I mean, he's a good unit. He has high speed, like, he's good, right? He's good, especially just nice overall unit, very good with Charlotte together. Now William still has this placement because of that damage reduction being the quickest unit in the game, and his combo obviously still with Mario is not that bad. I was almost putting him to S, but I think that his combo is still pretty good, but it's not as good as it once was, in my opinion. But does it still have a lot of value? Sure. Does he still work for damage reduction? Sure, but definitely not as crazy. He is like getting down to S, in my opinion, but I definitely could see a resurgence when we actually do get Noel. Maybe we'll have to see how exactly that's going to work. But this William, for sure, him being high speed just gives him a little bit of an edge to at least apply the damage reduction before everyone else. But there are some negatives, like it's an attack damage reduction skill, which is bad when you're fighting Mario on a team. So little things like that. But definitely his combo with Mario is still not bad, especially if you have a very strong DPS Mario. But I do think that this is the one placement in this whole tier list that I'm really not sure about. So please let me know down below what you personally think. Now, you could see the addition of Clover Academy Noel, and then you see probably a good amount of differences. So Charmy, pretty simple. I mean, very good on Mono Red. Same with Finral, Witch Queen, and This is basically, these 6 are the Mono Red team besides Fuego, okay? Going to be very good to silence. Obviously, Witch Queen is a must, and is a must. Then that last slot, so it's usually Asta, Witch Queen, the main, and then the last slot's going to be Charmy, Finral, or Rill, okay? Rill does offer more than Finral overall, but Finral is still a very good option. Charmy is a very good option, but Rill definitely, in overall terms, I would say Rill does work a lot better. The one thing is, from what I was told by my friend Ali Conley, who has the 110 KCC Black Asta and who mains Mono Red, is that Rill is very bad against a Charmy team, but is very good pretty much against any other team in the game. So that's the main thing. Now for Mono Green, I'm almost I want to move Fauna down, but she's still there. Like, she's holding on. Nothing too crazy though, but you could definitely make it work. Mimosa obviously very good with the 2 Mono Green teams. Either you run it with so the best teams really for Mono Green is like Charlotte, Mario, Mimosa, Vanessa, okay, as a hyper Mario DPS team, or Charlotte, Mario, Mimosa, so Mimosa could give the extra SP and res and also give magic attack and heal, right? So that's like the 2 main teams that you see. But then there's also Rill, who's able to be pretty good on some cleave type of teams. Vanessa still has her amazing godly protection. We just went over this Vanessa on the hyper carry Mario team. And then has his immortality removal with the debuffs, which actually can have some pretty nice team comps that I personally never try out, but I've seen it work for a good amount of people. And I think he's the only unit I might rate as like A, but he's like in between S and A in my opinion, and I just wanted to give him that higher rating of S. Okay, Mimosa and Vanessa are both very good supports that honestly are just perfect for the Mono Green team, but they don't shape up. Like, the core units are these 3, if we're being honest, depending on the teams, and then it's these 2 filling in the last slots. So that's like kind of how I go about it. Now for Mono Blue, I mean, I wouldn't use it, but if you do, it's like Zora, William, Noel, and Luck. Now, I would even put Luck up to to S, but Luck just isn't like that crazy overall, and it's really hard to rate some mono units, but you barely see this team, but these units are still very good. Noel puts 35% damage lower turn 1 on the whole team. Not just DPS, is the whole team. This Noel does it only on attackers, which is why this Noel is going to be very good for Mono Blue. Overall, though, I think this team does not have a lot of playability, which is why a lot of the units are in A and S instead of S+. There's not one Mono Blue unit besides Ghost technically, but he's not there because of Mono Blue. Not one actual Mono Blue unit is in S+. So keep that in mind, right? That's like the whole thing. Zora's still very good. Good on Mono Blue, good off Mono Blue. And William on Mono Blue is amazing with Luck. So that's basically it. Like, these units are okay, but Noelle is actually going to be okay. It's just, I feel like Ghost is better, in my opinion. For PvE, though, she is very good. Okay, her heals that she's able to give when there are burns, for example, on Beto Gigas, is very good. And if she is maxed out, but this is obviously very specific, she's going to be giving 20% healing every time it's her turn. But no, she has okay speed, but then whenever she gets burned at Duke 2, she gets 10% mobility, so she'll be quick. She puts reduced damage dealt, she heals, puts damage res, removes debuffs from all allies, which is insane, and then heals and removes DOTs. So she is a different version of Ghost, where Ghost just nullifies them, Noelle removes them, and heals whenever you remove them. So, like, she's okay, but I wouldn't really go for her, right? Like, she's good on Mono Blue, but the S tier doesn't mean you should be going for her, right? She could definitely encompass Mono Blue. She encompasses more PvP than these units, which is why she's there, but she's not, like, that crazy. Now, Noelle, I mean, Charlotte, like, it's just, I don't really need to talk about these units, right? Like, you're not really using many of them. Like, Luck, yes, but it's just, like, Luck and Julius are both there. Like, Charmy, Lotus, Mars, they're all, like, usable. I would say definitely that, like, for A, I would have to move some people down, right? I didn't really consider that. I mainly considered S and S plus as like the main units. But then like here, like Noelle could work. Like, she's an A because she can work on Mono Red. Magna has some really gimmicky teams that actually do end up working out. And Charlotte, Cleave team, like it's whatever now at this point. But like, she's an A, right? It's okay. Now, these units, Guldri, I definitely think should be there. He's definitely an A unit. Not like your best in slot, but definitely not a bad unit. Langris and Licht are both replacements for Hateful Fauna. Mimosa could be used as a reser type of thing. She does give some SP if I remember, but not like a crazy amount, if I'm being honest. Rades, at this point, I'd move him down. Same with Valtos. Yami could stay here. His damage is okay, but nothing too crazy, right? So that's it. I'd say like it's mainly Valtos and Radis that I'm having a problem with. How the mighty have fallen, Radis. How the mighty have fallen. Oh my god. And at this point, I no point in talking about these units. Charlotte, actually, I'm pretty sure she was supposed to be moved up. If not, I apologize for if I didn't tell Lantelar, I apologize. And if I did tell Lantelar, well, it is what it is, right? I mean, he's taking care of Wuthering Waves, like I said, so bro, look at the amount of guides and stuff here. It's just insane. So Charlotte should have definitely been moved up, in my opinion, to A at least. Even S plus, but S plus might be reaching a bit in my opinion, so I'd say A. But yeah, no, Charlotte also is a good unit because she stops skill 2 silence turn 1 and applies the counter damage reduction that you could put for luck, so definitely not a B unit. But the rest I agree with. So the main units is really Radis, Valtos, and then Charlotte that should be moved a bit. And then that's basically it in my opinion. Like Lotus is even usable to this day. I've seen some very annoying Lotus teams, but it's like very situational. Like the units in A is like if you don't have certain options in S or S plus, or very situational teams. That's it. That's it, right? That's it. So that's basically it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you a good insight on the meta. The main teams you're going to be seeing really is like DLT block version Fuego Mario, or just full-on Mario Fuego DPS, Mono Green, both versions, both the Hyper Carry Mario and the Mario Uno team. You'll see Mono Blue here and there, very good against Mono Red, very easy to beat Mono Red, but horrible against Mono Green. And now that Mono Green should be dominating the upper leagues meta at the very least, definitely not that crazy. And then Mono Red, obviously you got the Cleave version with either Finral or Rill, or the Charmy version, right? So there's like different teams, but it's like you're not going to have many of these just because of how hyper specific you need to build every single unit really to get them. So it's like too much. It's too much. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.